Here is a General Aire box VN. Here's what's left of the informations. It's hardly visible even in person. It says General Aire. It looks like GWS Corporation, 120 volts AC only, something 0.3, maybe 3 amps. Yeah, it looks like 3 amps, 60 cycles. And then it says P20N as in Nancy, V as in Victor, PP. It's a 3-speed model. This is old. This probably dates back to the 70s. This would be an early plastic blade model. It looks like a Kel Aire product. I don't know what General Aire is. I've never heard of that before. This is getting a little bit older than what my specialty is. But I do like these early plastic blade models. The guard spacing is very thick. Unfortunately, this one's in rough shape. Several of the blades have chunks missing from the tips, which might cause a balance issue and will almost certainly cause some kind of a noise issue. The handle's still there, which is it's just like a plastic handle that is flexible, so that's kind of surprising. The knob is missing, but we can get another one. That's not too big of a deal. It looks like it would have been a really nice green color at some point, and unfortunately that's just mostly gone. The sides are all beat up too. This looks like it was something that was used for projects or maybe used in a garage. It's got like some concrete stuff on there, so almost certainly was used for projects. By some miracle, only one slat on the entire guard is busted down here, and a little bit of cracking here, but that can probably be rectified fairly easily. Whatever type of plastic this was made out of has held up very well over the years. It's not brittle really at all. It's still flexible. Missing a screw down there, I guess because it's busted a little bit. It's got a pretty good sized motor to it. I don't know if there's any information tag on there. There is, but it's I'm not sure that the information are readable at this point in time. I'll try taking the guard off right quick and see if we can collect some information about the motor. Oh, the screws still operate real nicely. These long screws. I got this at the fan meet auction. That auction was very dangerous. This was maybe $1. It's kind of weird. You got this room full of collectors and nobody wanted some of this stuff, and I just don't understand why. Some people was throwing like newer stuff in there, which I can understand that not selling, but stuff like this, I would think that this would have sold, but no, very cheap. Let's see, the information is mostly gone. I can see it says 2 amps. It says lubricated, probably would say permanently lubricated, which is baloney. This says 60 Hertz, whereas the top says cycles. So it's in that transitionary period, I guess. It says type Y, 115 volts, and that's about all I can read. It's just mostly gone. Trying to get a picture of it here. Motor's definitely got some hours on it. Not anything too crazy though. I've seen plenty way more packed by dust and hair and stuff than this one is. This is not all that bad. Resembles a GE box fan very much, this blade design. Yeah, it's a shame this is chipped. This is going to be very noisy. We can kind of take like a Dremel to it and smooth it out. It might help cut the noise down, but it won't fix the balance issue. Bearings seem to be in very good condition still. You can see the original color was a really nice green. It's a shame this is in such bad condition. I'm just going to lay this down so I can put the screws in a little faster. I have mixed opinions on these blades. I like the way they look, but I find that the airflow is really just not that great. And I kind of feel the same way about the GE models that used it. Now, they were powerful fans, but there were certainly ones that came after that were plastic bladed that moved much more air. Both of those chips are on the leading edge. I wonder if this fell over at some point while it was running and it just chipped against the strut there. That's very possible. I suppose I could take this strut here down to the paint store and try to get a matched sample and redo it. Maybe. That might get expensive. I don't know how much that costs. I've never done that before. Here's the plug. This is an older plug. Yeah, this was definitely a project fan, unfortunately. Turn very much at all. It sounds like it should work though. We are testing at only 117.5 volts today. It's still 78 degrees out, over 96% humidity at almost 10 o'clock at night. So I'm sure everybody on the street is running an air conditioner today. Alright, let's begin on the low. It's the first setting on the switch. Yeah, it's extremely out of balance as I expected. And something sounds very unhappy there. Oh wow, it's actually a lot more powerful than I expected. Wow, this balance is just awful. I can feel the bearings are just rooted out. Oh man, that stinks. That's what that metallic clank is. That's the bearings rooted. That's 1.16 the amps, 89 the watts, the power factor of 0.65. And of course is a shaded pole. Man, this thing is really rough. It's too bad because there can't be many of these around me. And it's actually a lot more powerful than I was expecting it to be. And I can still feel decent air all the way across the room. It kind of pushes air out to the sides more than straight forward, as these the ones with this blade shape tend to do, which is kind of nice depending on where it's being used. Yeah, there's almost no air if you stand directly in front of it. The front is open, you can see right through to the motor, so it's got good airflow. It's a good design in that sense. And that motor is, unfortunately, the bearings are shot in this thing. stinks. It would be pretty quiet if it wasn't for all that clanking. Oh, is that not the motor? It's very out of balance. I don't think that those two chips are what's causing all that balance issue. I can feel that the bearings are rooted out, but as long as I stay quiet. And it really sounds like it's coming from the motor, but maybe it's not. The medium. Decent jump in speed. That's 1.53 the amps, 120 the watts, 0.67 the power factor. I'm really impressed by how much air this is moving. It's not super powerful. Like, I think a 223 blows us out of the water. But it doesn't totally stink, and that's what I was expecting. Right now the high. That's 2.33 amps, 178 watts, 0.66 the power factor. Kind of sounds like the GE box fans. And the performance, I'd say, is very similar. Moving decent air, much more than I expected. And the balance is just awful. That's terrible. No wonder the bearings are so messed up. That's like Air King grade right there. That's terrible. Well, it's in pretty bad condition, which stinks, but there is something here to work with.